Welcome back to the Critical Catastrophe, where we dissect the flaming dumpster fires that are modern gaming and media. Today's specimen is Avowed, or more to the point, this here article from Kotaku. I have lovingly come to know it as the Elder Scrolls of the woke society, has once again generated right on cue an article from Kotaku. And obviously, Kotaku is out here doing its usual dance, pointing fingers, crying that if you didn't like Avowed, you're a bigot, and acting like we, the gamers, are the problem for not wanting a political pamphlet disguised as a video game. So, what is Kotaku's latest little temper tantrum about? Well, apparently gamers criticizing Avowed aren't just fed up with half-baked ideological garbage clogging up their consoles and PCs. No, we're just anti-woke trolls, because clearly if you don't enjoy being lectured by walking stereotypes in a game with the emotional depth of a blue sky thread, then you're just a bad person. Alright, so let's talk about Avowed just a little bit, okay? What's it got? Well, for starters, it's got more diversity checkboxes than a UN summit. Characters so bland that, well, they make a bowl of plain oatmeal look like a 5-star meal. And writing so on the nose, it feels like the game is physically poking you while screaming, "Look how progressive I am!" Subtlety, not really in this one. It's like they invented a DEI starter pack specifically for this game. Step 1, add a rainbow of characters who exist solely to be diverse, and check that box. Step 2, sprinkle in some preachy dialogue about oppression, because nothing says fantasy escapism like a lecture or 3. Step 3, profit. Oh, wait. That last step didn't exactly go to plan, because, well, the ideologically driven games, the woke games, rarely make it far enough to make a profit. Sure, they get released, but nobody buys them. But yeah, you know what? Who needs money when you've got the moral superiority? Am I right? And when gamers don't buy into this absolute trash, this nonsense, this ideologically driven bullshit, Kotaku's response is ever so predictable. Step 1, ignore the valid criticisms of the game. Step 2, scream bigot into the void. Step 3, write a 1,500-word essay about how gamers are the problem, all while clutching their locally sourced, kind to the environment pearls and wondering why absolutely nobody takes them seriously. And they haven't for a very long time. I mean, you would think, right, that Obsidian would learn from history. I mean, we've seen it play out before. We've seen Dragon Age of Veilguard recently. We've seen the absolute failure that was Forspoken, and even a Saints Row game that was a complete flop because of the, well, woke messaging instead of the fun gameplay. All shining examples of what happens when you prioritize the message, when you prioritize virtue signaling over actually making a good game which unfortunately the people who are now at Obsidian do not have the talent to do, because the people you remember at Obsidian are now gone. But, according to Kotaku, Avowed is not the problem. Oh, no, 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 fellow gamers, it is us. We are just too backwards to appreciate a masterpiece like this, because who needs engaging gameplay? Not I, apparently. Or a well-crafted story when you can just throw in some representation and click a couple of check boxes, right? I mean, it's not like gamers care about things like quality or effort. No, we're just here to be lectured by characters that look like, well, honestly, they look like rejected Tumblr fan art. Now, let's face it, okay? These ideology-driven games, these intersectional feminism games, these woke games, whatever words you want to use, they all kind of mean the same thing in the long run. They're like a bad sequel to an 80s action flick that nobody wants. They show up uninvited, they ruin the fun, and they kind of leave you with a bad taste in your mouth, like you just bit on a soap bar hoping it was a Snickers. And then they leave you wondering with this thought of who in the world thought that this was good? Who came up with this? Not even that. Who in the hell said yes? Because instead of listening to the feedback that their customers give them, companies like Obsidian just double down. And then publications, or, I'm sorry, bloggers from places like Kotaku and IGN and name any other one of the modern day gaming websites, act like we're the monsters for wanting quality. We're the monsters for not wanting ideology to be the prime reason you put a character on the screen. And here's where Kotaku really shines. Really shines. Instead of asking why Avowed got toasted blacker than a burnt marshmallow on a bonfire, they just go full blame. Blame the audience, blame the customer, it is your fault. They've basically become the gaming equivalent of that one guy at karaoke who can't sing but absolutely insists the mic is just off key. The mic is broken. It's got nothing to do with him. Hey, Kotaku, a little unsolicited advice, okay? If gamers hate the game, maybe it's because the game sucks. Maybe it's because they're tired of being preached to. It's not a conspiracy. It's not some grand anti-woke agenda. It's just that no one wants to pay 60 or 70 bucks that they can't afford anymore for a game that feels like it was written by a college freshman with a Tumblr account and a thesaurus. And you know what successful games do? They pay attention to what fans liked about the franchise in the same way that many successful game movies would be. Like the director of Sonic the Hedgehog listening to the fans complaining about Sonic's very strange look and turning it back to the other one, to the old-fashioned one, the normal one, the one that people loved. Meanwhile, though, you've got Obsidian Studios and games like Avowed who just double down on their bullshit, their woke and now broke strategy, and wonder why everyone is walking away. So here would be the moral of the story, to me anyway. If you want to make a game that appeals to Kotaku writers, Obsidian, go right ahead. Go for it. We will all stand behind you and watch you do it. Just don't expect the rest of us to buy it. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Avowed will somehow not be a long-term flop, or will it magically become a good game? And while you're at it, while you're down there, do me the giant favor of hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Share the video with your friends. Hell, share the video with your enemies, because someone needs to keep calling this crap out, and well, I'm happy to do it.